In a world where celebrity often fades into headlines and gossip, two names continue to shimmer with a light that refuses to dim: Zhan and Wang Yibo. What began as a wave of admiration for their artistry has grown into something far greater, a global movement of kindness, creation, and compassion. Their fans aren't just supporters, they are architects of change, building bridges of love that cross nations, cultures, and languages. The story starts quietly, almost like a heartbeat beneath the noise of fame. Somewhere in Chengdu, a young fan wakes early, logging into her phone to join a fundraising group. Thousands of miles away in Brazil, another fan is painting murals of hope with Zhan's serene smile at the center. In Seoul, a student skips her coffee to donate to an animal shelter. They have never met, but they are connected by two men whose artistry became a light that ignited millions of hearts. Zhan and Wang Yibo first came together as co-stars, but what followed was far beyond the silver screen. Their shared passion for excellence, humility, and kindness set off a ripple effect that turned fan admiration into a force of real-world goodness. The story of these fan projects begins in the chaos of digital fandom, where hashtags are battlegrounds and idols are symbols. But the fans of Zhan and Wang Yibo transformed that energy into something far purer. They built communities that did not just worship talent, they amplified humanity. During times when fame can bring storms, their supporters chose to bring light. When Zhan faced online turbulence, instead of retaliating with bitterness, fans turned toward compassion. They began organizing charity events in his name, donating blood, raising funds for children in need, rebuilding libraries, and providing food to families who had lost everything. Across Weibo, Twitter, and Instagram, a quiet revolution began. Imagine the scene. In a small rural school in Gansu, sunlight pours over freshly painted desks, new books stacked high in the corner. The teacher's voice cracks with emotion as she thanks the anonymous donors who made this possible. The banner outside reads, "Love from Zhan fans." These aren't just fan clubs, they are organized communities of activists. Every project is meticulously planned. There are spreadsheets of donations, local volunteers coordinating deliveries, and creative campaigns that blend fandom with philanthropy. What started as admiration for a star became a network of kindness that operates like a well-oiled charity machine. And Wang Yibo's fans, often known for their fierce energy and creative flair, have their own remarkable tales. In 2023, during his birthday celebration, fans around the world united to sponsor dozens of environmental initiatives. From tree planting drives in Thailand to marine cleanups in Malaysia, the projects were staggering in scale. One unforgettable story comes from a coastal village in the Philippines, where fans organized a cleanup that removed over 5 tons of plastic waste in a single day. When interviewed, a volunteer smiled and said, "We wanted to do something meaningful in Yibo's name. He inspires us to act, not just admire." Back in China, fans have built entire charity libraries and donated to animal shelters. They've even sponsored medical equipment for pediatric hospitals. Their devotion carries the same energy that Wang Yibo himself brings to every performance: focused, quiet, and unstoppable. There's a rare kind of beauty in the symmetry between these two men and their fans. Zhan, known for his gentle demeanor and introspective kindness, inspires his fans to serve with warmth and empathy. Wang Yibo, defined by his discipline and fire, moves his fans toward action, perseverance, and creative innovation. Together, they have become the dual heartbeat of a fandom culture that transcends idol worship. It's a culture of love and motion. One of the most breathtaking moments came during the pandemic years. While much of the world was locked indoors, Zhan's fans organized a campaign called Light Up Hope. Instead of sending physical gifts, fans raised money to support hospitals, provide PPE, and sponsor meals for frontline workers. The initiative spread like wildfire. Within weeks, the campaign had reached multiple countries, with banners reading, "In times of darkness, love shines the brightest." It was the kind of humanity that could melt even the coldest cynicism. In parallel, Wang Yibo's international fans created a movement titled "Riding with Love," a nod to his passion for motorcycles and speed. But this time, it wasn't about engines or races. It was about raising awareness for children with disabilities, funding mobility aids, and organizing sports activities to encourage inclusion. The projects had his signature energy, dynamic, bold, and unstoppable. In one powerful event in Vietnam, a group of fans rode bicycles across a city to raise awareness for disabled athletes. They carried flags with Yibo's name, not as idols, but as symbols of determination and unity. Spectators lined the streets, clapping and cheering. For that brief moment, fandom became fellowship. These aren't isolated acts. They're part of a growing ecosystem of goodness that thrives year after year. Birthdays, anniversaries, drama releases, every milestone becomes a reason to give back. Fans collect funds to plant forests, build wells, and even rescue abandoned pets. There's a sense of global rhythm to it, like the heartbeat of one immense family beating for the same cause: love. If you trace the roots of these movements, you find something extraordinary. Who chose love over noise? The impact of Zhan and Wang Yibo's fans has spread so far that it now feels like a living constellation of light, millions of flickering stars working in quiet harmony. What began as admiration has become a movement, and each act of kindness feels like another heartbeat in a global symphony. Picture this: dawn breaks over a small town in Yunnan. Mist curls over the rice fields as volunteers gather under a crimson banner that reads, "With love for love." The smell of congee fills the air, and laughter ripples through the crowd. These are Zhan's fans, carrying boxes of school supplies into a local elementary school. Their eyes glisten not with excitement for a celebrity appearance, but with joy for what they're creating. One fan gently hands a notebook to a little boy who's never owned one before. "This is from someone who believes in your dreams," she says softly. The boy doesn't understand the name Zhan, but he understands the feeling, kindness. And that, right there, is where fame transforms into something sacred. Across oceans, another story unfolds. In Paris, a group of Wang Yibo's fans set up a charity art auction. The pieces? All fan-made portraits of Yibo, sold to raise money for homeless shelters. The gallery glows with the golden hue of evening light as people stroll through, stopping at each canvas with awe. The organizer, a young woman named Alina, tells a reporter, "Wang Yibo reminds us that creativity is freedom. We wanted to use that freedom to help others." Each painting, each stroke of color, tells a story, not of idol worship, but of transformation. Then there's the unforgettable moment in 2024 when Zhan's global fan clubs joined forces for his birthday project called 8,000 Cranes of Hope. Fans from 30 different countries folded paper cranes, each one representing a donation to children's cancer foundations. The cranes were displayed in hospitals across Asia, shimmering like tiny wings of love suspended in sunlight. Patients and families walked among them, whispering prayers and gratitude. A nurse in one of those hospitals posted online, "I don't know who this Zhan is, but his fans are angels." And isn't that the magic of it? The way fame can ripple out and touch lives it never even meant to reach? Meanwhile, Wang Yibo's fans continued their mission of action. They organized something breathtakingly unique: Project Velocity, a charity marathon inspired by Yibo's passion for motorsports. But instead of engines, they ran for miles. From Beijing to Bangkok, from Seoul to Singapore, groups of fans ran under banners reading, "Run for Change, Ride for Hope." Each step raised funds for children's education and disaster relief. In one heart-stirring moment, during the marathon's final stretch in Shanghai, a little girl holding a handmade sign ran alongside the crowd. Her sign read, "Thank you for helping my village." The cameras captured her smile, the runners slowed down, and you could almost feel it, that shared pulse of humanity, beating across borders, languages, and screens. It's easy to dismiss fandoms as loud or obsessive, but here, in this story, there's something else entirely. They're quiet architects of kindness. And behind it all are two men who never asked for this kind of devotion, but somehow inspired it just by being themselves. Zhan, with his gentle sincerity, reminds people to be kind even when the world isn't. Wang, with his fearless drive and unshakable independence, shows fans the beauty of action, of chasing what you love no matter the odds. It's that balance, compassion, and courage that has turned their fandoms into movements. In the Philippines, Zhan's fans sponsor meals for children in poor communities. In Thailand, Wang supporters have donated to elephant sanctuaries, naming one of the rescued elephants Yibo. In Kenya, fans collaborated with local volunteers to dig wells in villages facing drought, proudly marking them with a sign, "Gifted with love, inspired by kindness." These projects are no longer about celebrity. They've become a language of love that the whole world can understand. And then there are the online stories, thousands of them. Fans who met through donation drives ended up forming lifelong friendships. Some even started their own nonprofits, inspired by the momentum of these fandom movements. One such group, founded by Zhan's admirers in Canada, is now registered as an official charity. Their slogan? Be the reason someone smiles today. In one of their posts, they wrote, "We started out loving an artist, but we ended up learning how to love the world." Every scene, every gesture feels like a cinematic moment, not because of fame, but because of the humanity it reveals. Picture it, a montage of faces around the world. A mother wiping tears as her child receives a scholarship. A volunteer wiping sweat as she plants trees in a reclaimed forest. A fan holding a donation receipt, whispering a quiet thank you to the man who inspired her. And behind every image, a heartbeat, steady, strong, filled with purpose. That's the story you don't see trending every day. But it's happening quietly, beautifully, endlessly. And if you listen closely, you can almost hear it. The rustle of paper cranes, the laughter of children, the steady rhythm of runners' feet, and the unspoken truth beneath it all. Kindness is contagious. Because when art inspires goodness, it creates something immortal. Zhan and Wang fans have proven that love doesn't have to shout. It can whisper, act, and build. Their legacy isn't just measured in streams or awards, but in the real lives changed by their collective hands. Somewhere tonight, another fan is clicking donate. Another is drawing a poster for an awareness drive. Another is reaching out to help a stranger. They don't know each other, but they are connected by invisible threads of inspiration, all leading back to two artists who turned fame into fuel for kindness. And that's the kind of story worth telling again and again. So, if this story touched your heart, if you believe that love, kindness, and creativity can truly change the world, then don't just watch, be part of it.